Imam Mubarak, what is the purpose of your travel schedule going to Chicago, Illinois once a month?
Well, alhamdulillah, what my primary purpose is to maintain a relationship on behalf of Master Imam Wabdi Muhammad Development Committee Center with the Mosque Cares Ministry of Imam Wabdi Muhammad, and in conjunction with that, to sustain and maintain a relationship with the Nation of Islam and its headquarters, Mosque Miriam, in particular with Student Minister Ismail Muhammad, who is the son of Elijah Muhammad, obviously, but the brother of Imam Wabdi Muhammad, in conjunction with my relationship with Imam Sultan Rahman Muhammad, who is a relative within the Muhammad family, and the recently appointed Imam of the Nation of Islam. So by going to Chicago the first Sunday of every month, it affords me to have a dual opportunity. As you know, back in August of last year, 2012, we made a historic trip to Chicago with 56 passengers on a bus that sort of set the bar, the standard that I would deem, where we were able to demonstrate to the Muslims in Detroit, New Detroit, Chicago, and all of America that our relationship with the Nation of Islam is eternal, that we are bound by that relationship because we all, for whatever purpose, practical purpose or not, have some connection or some relationship with that origin or with that history. And having had the privilege of working with Minister Rasul Muhammad, Ishmael's brother, here in the city of Detroit several years ago, 2 decades ago or more, that was something that I felt I needed to sustain. More importantly, Imam Wabdi Muhammad, in my personal relationship with him and professional relationship with him, he insisted that I have a relationship with the nation, with Rasul, and subsequently it has occurred with Student Minister Ishmael, who is the national representative of Minister Farrakhan. And Imam Sultan is a unique situation because he, having been appointed the Imam of Islam, it allows us as brothers, as imams, to converse about the realities of our communities, our fellow Muslim brothers and sisters in America and throughout the world. And it is a great and a tremendous statement made by the Nation of Islam that all that those who would think that the Nation of Islam is not identifying with Islam and or with Muslims universally are, if I can say this, sadly mistaken. Now there may be some nuances that are not clear to all of us, but just the very fact, the mere fact that Minister Farrakhan appointed Sultan as the Imam of the Nation of Islam, in particular Mosque Miriam, but he's identified as the Imam of the Nation of Islam throughout America. This is a historic occasion and an identification. And I'm sure, I'm very sure, quite sure, that Imam Muhammad would have been very pleased to know this. Not to say that it took that for the nation to identify with quote-unquote Orthodox Islam, which there's no such word, because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, throughout Message to the Black Man, and throughout his whole effort in America, that the emphasis, the underlying emphasis, is Islam. Why? Allah's name is mentioned. And when I say Allah's name is mentioned, I'm not talking about in any manner that identify Allah as a part of creation. Allah, the originator of the skies and earth. Allah, unborn. Allah, non-flesh. When I say Allah, I can't account for anyone else when they say Allah. I'm saying when I, Imam Mubarak, say Allah. Allah, the one and only Allah. In addition to that, Muhammad the Prophet, to whom the Quran was revealed. This is a universal component of Islam, where all Muslims throughout the world acknowledge that Allah revealed the Quran to Muhammad, that he is the seal of the prophets and the recipient of the Quran. This is unequivocal. No one argues about that. And to think that the Nation of Islam, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Minister Louis Farrakhan and his ministers, etc., that they don't understand this or did not understand this in particular with respect to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. People forget Elijah Muhammad went to Mecca for a Umrah. And of course, you can imagine when he walked around the Kaaba, he was there doing the same rituals as everyone else. And this was to glorify Allah, to acknowledge the tradition of Abraham and that of Muhammad. And so it's a great blessing to be able to look at that and see that. And so when I go to Chicago, I'm able to feel a sense of brotherhood and a connection with the Muslims of the Nation of Islam who are striving to incorporate every component, ritual component of Islam. However, one of the things that distinctively is evident to me, they have a tenacity and a commitment to sustaining their dignity and their presence in the community. Minister Farrakhan, I had the privilege of going out with him this past summer out into the neighborhoods of Chicago, who, after all was said and done, in 2012 ended up having over 500 murders in the city. And not to mention, of course, you know, here in the city of Detroit, we had 411 murders. And compared to populations, you know, we had an astronomical rate of murders that occurred in the city. So anyway, the Nation of Islam membership, my relationship with the Mosque Cares, the Minister of Imam Mubarak Al Mubarak, allows me to further that relationship and deepen that relationship for the purpose of our future endeavors, which will be to continue to build our community, to develop a relationship that the world will know that we are one.
Thank you, sir.